Guys, it's 2024, you've hit the longest drives that you have ever hit, you're down near the green, and unfortunately we're missing green still. Welcome to Get Good at Golf, guys. I'm Chris, and in this video we're going to be talking about how we can hit the greens with your scoring iron. So we're going to work from probably around about 50 yards, which might be a sand wedge, might be a lob wedge, might be a pitching wedge, and we're going to work back to around about 120 yards, because how many times I see people miss the green from there is not surprising, because they don't practice that. They go onto the driving range, we all hit driver, you've all watched the driver tips, you've all watched the setup tips that James has been going through this week on Get Good at Golf, and you've not necessarily practiced your short game. You've got quickly onto the range, you've gone, right, James has talked about a mid-iron this week, I know I need to get my ball position in the middle, I need to get that left foot turned out, and I really need to practice on getting my weight through. James has also mentioned about the grip this week, so we've gone through how tight to hold it, how loose to hold it, are you strong, are you weak, what are we doing with these hands to get that club face pointing in the direction we want. So once you've done those things, we then need to think about, right, what do I do in short game, what do I do in pitching, what do I do in chipping to get the ball closer and get my contact better, because it's that time of the year where it's very wet, and that is why we're inside today, and we're not getting the contact that we want. We only have to be around about 1 centimetre off, and we get that awkward drop kick, we don't get it to the green, and we've then got an even tougher shot out of the rough, up and over a bunker, and nobody likes that shot, especially this time of the year. But even in the summer, when we've got nice, firm, tight conditions, we start to get a little bit twitchy. So James has talked about stance and feet, and this is what we're going to talk about today with short game. So once we're in at this kind of distance, so 50 yards, if you're closer than 50 yards, what I would like to see is that you're around about a club width apart. So nice and easy, get that stance nice and close together. Still keep this left foot turned out to allow us to rotate through the golf ball. But the reason we do that is because that's going to take speed out of the club. We can't now swing very fast, which is what I see, because a lot of people get the 60-degree from here. If I do that, again, I'm going to be falling back. I'm going to have no control on how I strike that. That was very low on the face. That's a little bit thin, and that's what we see from a lot of not high handicap golfers, low handicap golfers as well. It's not just the higher handicapper that hit these shots, it's all range of golfers, including myself and James from time to time. If I can find any highlights from last year, I will get those on. But what we want to do at 50 yards is get maybe a little bit wider, so we're now thinking 2 club head widths apart. And from here, this is going to be your stance all the way up to 100 yards for me. All we're going to do is change the golf club. So at 50 yards, I'm 2 club head widths apart, my weight is left. So my weight is on the left-hand side now, and all I'm going to try and do from here is swing within myself, and you'll start to figure out with each golf club how far it goes. I know there, I've made half a swing, that has just landed me at 48 and ran out nicely to 60 yards. So that's on the green. Again, if we hit a green from there, on average, that's going to save us 1 shot per round. I've now got a good chance of 2 putting. I've not got to hit another chip and then start to putt. If I was then to move back, for example, I'm going to move back now all the way to, let's see where we can go to, 100 yards, 98 yards. So I've gone to 98 yards now, and I'm going to use the same club. So from 50 yards there, I hit a pitching wedge. So my Takomo 301 MB iron, I've used that in here. It's a pitching wedge. You might think, well, from there I would have hit my 60, but you see, I've got the control of this club. I can get it launching at the right angle that I want to, and if you watch professional golfers, you'll see...
Your shots do launch at the right angle.
James has been waiting for that all year to get something in there, but what we see is I can get the right trajectory, so I can get the correct amount of spin. A lot of tour players you'll see will hit it a lot more direct, whereas if you stand and have a 28 handicapper, a 36 handicapper next to you on the driving range, if you told them to hit it 50 yards, you can guarantee that ball flight will be launching like this, and it's then very hard to judge your distance. But now I'm back at 100 yards, I've got that exact same stance width. All I'm going to do now is make a longer swing. So I'm going to go a little bit longer on the backswing, keep my speed, keep my balance. And you can see there, again, launched nice and towards the flag, and gone a little bit long there. So that's a perfect example. The strike was very good. I've struck it a little bit better than probably what I would have expected after James's comment. So what I've done there is I've just swung a little bit too long. I've got a little bit long on the swing. I've hit it out of the middle of the golf club. So now I know I can just make a smaller motion. And I want you to focus this year when you're hitting into the greens, even up to 120 yards, maybe even up to 150 yards, is think about taking a little bit of speed out of it. Trying to maybe go one club more and swing it smoother because we have that little bit more control. So let me go again, a little bit shorter in the backswing. That's the right angle one for James. Distance-wise, 96, finishing at 101. That was a swing that was much more within myself. I'm able to control that club face. I've got my setup good, and we're going to hit more greens. If we can hit more greens this year, guys, you're going to be able to save shots off your scores, lower your handicap, and get good at golf.